Hey everybody, DayTraderRockStar. We're here with you, and this is our video on futures trading, trading the ES, and prop trading, qualification of your prop accounts so you can start to making some real money. And the week just ended, and I just got the watch list out. A great watch list for the members this week. If you're a member of Day Trading Radio, we have a stock watch list that goes out every weekend, sets up the stocks for next week. Hershey's was a huge play last week. There's so many good setups we had. And this week I got 3 best bets. But I'll leave that for the members. 3 best bets, and our best bets are always moving. So make sure you take a look at that. But let's talk about a little about futures this week too, because we had a great week trading futures. And even though today was Friday, it was kind of a slower day. It was a sideways. We closed down about 2 points or 4 points. It was around there. Maybe it was even a little bit. Let me see, 4.25 points on the S&P. Kind of a choppy day. We recognize that. I recognize that. I said, try to be a little bit more cautious on a Friday. I always find myself back in the day, looking back at things that I did. Sometimes over trading too much on Friday, and you ever have a bad Friday, it brings it into a bad weekend. You just don't want to have that going into a 3-day weekend. We have to deal with the 3-day weekend in itself. Even though futures will be open on Monday, we'll have the futures on the screen, but there will be no commentary. But there will be futures until 1 o'clock. So the chat room will be open. I'm sure there's going to be traders in the chat room, in the futures room too. So welcome. Come on over, Day Trading Radio. All right, but knowing that there's this dream, this goal, I say a dream for a lot of people is to be self-sufficient and have this all work out for you, make money consistently in the markets and feel in control of yourself. And that takes a lot of different things. First of all is having a method of trading. We have the method. But the other thing is controlling our emotions and taking advantage of that and having the discipline and understanding no hunches and no anything else. That really comes down to the main thing about making money and taking money off the table when you have it. All right. The setups we're going to go. This is what I do every single week, and a lot of times I do it multiple days during the week just to kind of point out the setups. We know the setups, and the setups are all come from our methodology called the high probability setups. Now, everything that I get into, I have rules for, and it's called Trader Playbook or Business Plan, and that's available for the members. Everything is broken down for you. It's in the forums. But I want to show you some of the stuff. This is actually my bull and bear setup here. Bull and bear flag, 2020 bull bear flag setup. And the criterion, the rules that have to go on. Everything is broken down. This is very important for myself and other traders because you have to have, a set of rules. If you have a business plan, you have a business plan to sell your product. And our product is trading great levels, what I call, finding divergences, trading divergence, or other high probability zones, and trading those and making the odds in our favor. All right, so let's just jump off of here for a second, and let's just jump over to the playbook trades. Now, everything here you see quad rotation divergence, quad rotation coil, quad rotation trend line, VWAP, coil divergence, buy and sell divergence, and quad. And these are the setups we're looking for. Now, there's quite a bit here, and these are all kind of sometimes they all come together. Like you could have a quad divergence and a coil. You can have a quad rotation divergence on a trend line. So there's lots of times these will overlap each other, and that's the key, is to have as many set up as possible. But this is basically the setups that I like to announce and trade during the day. Now this has a lot. This is already a lot, and I'm not saying that this is, but mainly the top one here, that is our go-to trade, the quad rotation divergence. I love the quad rotation VWAP. The first time we touch it, any type of sell, buy and sell divergence is very important. The quad rotation on its own, I call those out during the day, and they really help a lot of people making short-term trades. The other two on the bottom, we won't even, those are kind of on the outskirts of of what we should be, what we call the super signals, or things that you must be taking and trading, or that's what I'm going to be sending out for you. So basically anything that has to do with a quad rotation, anything that has to do with a divergence, and I don't have the flags on here. The flags would be one also. All right. So now let's just go kind of look at the chart. And this is important now. I go over things that a lot of people already know, but if you don't know it and you're new to trading, pay attention. This is the best way you ever find that you're going to ever trade. All right, you could do this. This is not that difficult, and I'm cutting off all the fat on this. I'm taking all my knowledge and all my experience, 25 years now trading, and I'm discarding the stuff that is fluff. And you don't need to know everything. You don't need to know a spinning top doji, dark cloud cover. I'm looking for maybe 3 patterns that I see in my sleep, and I see it in nature. And I'm looking for this, and I've studied and I've organized and I've tweaked this method so much that I could look at these bands of stochastics on the bottom here as I'm looking at an echocardiogram, like a cardiologist would, and tell you the health of the stock, health of the chart, whatever we're tracking at this point. In this case, we're tracking the ES, or it could be the MES, and it's just a few combinations we're looking for. All right, and when we start to see those combinations, you start to get to see the moves. So I can only stress, if you're going to be serious about trading, trade, with Day Trader Radio. Get the alerts, because I'm going to walk you through each day. I'm going to be walking you through this. Now, if you don't have time, that's up to you. You have to make time. You're going to make yourself, you're going to be successful in life. You're going to be successful in what you want to do. You got to put the effort in. You can't do half-assed type of stuff here. This is not, I'm not going to say guarantee, but I want to show you the right way to trade, and it's up to you to kind of tighten up that other portion I can't get a hold of. Your psyche, other things that I cannot. I could stress and try to help you and walk you through this, but I'm not going to be able to deal with the inner demons that you might be carrying around as a trader typically does. But I want to show you with confidence the setups that I like and why they move, and we have to take these together, and this is important, and this is the only way that you're going to be successful. And I can't tell you that. I'm going to tell you 25, 26 years now of trading. I could guarantee it. This is the best way that you will ever find. All right? For argument's sake, we're not going to talk about stocks today, even though we do trade stocks, and we trade the same patterns on stock, but on daily time frames. So I'll look for the same pattern, but on a daily time frame, and understand that if I have a good move on, whatever, like in this case, we're just going to start off here. This is like last Thursday, a couple days, or yesterday. I'm just looking at, this is the chart. This is overnight even. I just happen to be randomly here. And I'm just going to start here. And even though I'm not trading overnight, maybe you're out there in Europe and you're over trading this. This is the 1 minute time frame. And I watch this. And I'm looking for the combination of a couple different things. And what I'm looking for is I'm looking for these type of channels that develop 1, 2, 3. It's called a 1, 2, 3 channel. And then I look for the 4, 5, and 6, or anything in the combination. But I like to see that pullback in an organized manner and the lower trend line. Then I look, when we get down here, I'm looking for something like a low and then a lower low off a trend line. In this case, it's off the 200 period moving average too. But this is textbook. Here's a low and a lower low, and here's a low and a higher low in the stochastics. And it's on the 9-3 and the 14-3. And that's, even though it's 3 o'clock in the morning, that's a European open, and that's usually a catalyst. So I always stress people, if you're out there, look for this divergence around the 3 o'clock open. It comes in here a lot. I mean, if I was not strapped and doing so much that I'm doing and I need my beauty sleep, I would be up at 3 o'clock just to take this trade. And that doesn't happen every day, but if there is going to be a divergence, it tends to happen around 3 o'clock, or when the European, you can see the volume start to come into the market at this point. And that's when we usually get that dip. The volume momentum here shifts, and it shifts and gives us a divergence, and that's off to the races we go. And these are nice moves. 31 to 37, that's a 5-6 point move. Now, before we go any further, if I get this out in time, there's a flash sale that ends tonight on the Bullinox. It's 80% off option ones. I don't know what that brings it down to, but I've been trading this week on the 50. I have a 100K account. I'm working my way up on this account, and I realized the other day I had up the $1,500 day just out of the gate on a 5-minute divergence, and I had like two ES contracts on it, and before you know it, was up $1,500. And it doesn't help, I had to get up $6,000. I'm up about $3 now, on my way to the 6,000 goal on the 100. But I always used to say 50 is pretty good, a good one to have. I really do believe it's easier now to qualify on the 25K. It's only 1,500. It's 1-to-1. And when you take the divergences, it doesn't, we're getting 5-6 points, and you could hold 3 to 4 contracts on a 15 or a 25K account. So the 25K account, you could hold, you could hold up to 4, I believe it's 4 contracts. If not, it's 3. And I only usually do 2 to 3. Anyway, even if I'm able to hold, 10 or whatever. And they work really, really good. And before you know it, you're up $1,000 on the day, just trading any type of divergence on the 5-minute time frame. So you have to have those, like you have bullets in your chamber, So when you're ready to, when we have a divergence like that, you should have a 25K account ready to go. So take advantage of when next time they have like a 90% coupon. Get a bunch of these and have them ready, because you will work on the 5-minute, and you have to be disciplined. Like I said, there's 80% coupon off until tonight, midnight. The coupon code is DTR TEAM, TEAM, DTR TEAM. It'll be in the video description too, but you'll probably be too late for it anyway. But that's what we're looking for right here. And the hardest part is going to be taking profits. We always try to watch our bigger time frame and kind of measure everything out, and that's 3 o'clock in the morning. But what I'm trying to do right now is just show you the setups that we want to take, and why we don't want to take anything other than those setups. That's where the problem comes. What do we do between 3 o'clock and 5 o'clock when the market's kind of just selling off? I don't see anything here. I see an embedded stochastic, and I see, this is embedded down here. I don't see much. I see a couple rotations which represent bear flags to me. When this is embedded and this rotates up to 80, that is a textbook bear flag. So we know now what a bear flag looks like. We know what a divergence looks like. These things are already defined for us, defined in such a way that just anything that breaks or goes through this, we just get out, because it's, that's just a busted thing. But most likely you're going to be fine. Eventually you are going to get that rotation up. That might be harder to see. There was no divergence here at 550, and that happens. We're hunting, or we're searching for 1 to 2, 3 setups, and when we see them, you get the alerts. Now, of course, if you're not familiar, we get these alerts to you in different ways. First of all, if you're watching the show, you get them live. But if you're not watching the show, or maybe stepping away, I highly recommend the Zello alerts. The Zello is a platform that I'm using on the phone. I'll put the link in the room, and basically it's a walkie-talkie. It comes over your phone, and I give you audio alerts saying what type of setup it is. And give you an example what it is. And again, you could find those Zello alerts at patreon.com/daytradingradio. And that's where you could get this, you could read up on them and stuff like that. Notes here. Thanks for the alert. Profit of $262. Would like to ride more, but I have to do an appointment. So you can contact me and talk to me back and forth using this app too. So today we actually had a quad rotation, but let's go into the yesterday.
We have a 5-minute divergence. This is a big divergence this morning at 9:50 reversal on the SPY, on the cash. This could be a big move all day. The bottom could be in. So big position here with the stop at the lows of the day.
So that would be the alert.
On that divergence low. If you're still long, it still looks strong. Also, we have a bull flag setting up right here, a 2020 bull flag.
So again, I continue just to update you throughout the day, and that's on your phone. It comes across your phone. To read up more on it, like I said, go to Patreon/DayTradingRadio and go to the Futures Traders Audio Network, or look in the link in the video, because you don't want to miss these. And these are the ones I want to be giving you. Now, I'm trading in the markets from 9 o'clock to 4 o'clock and sometimes overnight. So you'll get the alerts at those time frames. And the alerts are based off the high probability zones. The high probability zones are placed or identified by myself, calling the markets for our members, and for our rockbot. A rockbot is a ninja script that identifies the setups. Now, there's a lot to go into this. I'm not going to go into the script as much, but for those who know it, you know how well it works and how great it is. It is the Super Signal Quad script. You have access to it here at Day Trader Radio if you have the Ninja Trader platform. All right. If you want to try it out for a month, you could go over to the Patreon site. You could download it, then send me an email. I'll send you permissions, and you could have it running for a month, and you'll see how well it works. It's just $50 on the month. Members have it with their packages at Day Trading Radio, but if you're not a member of Day Trading Radio and you want to try it, that's how you can get access to it. So a lot of this, and this I have to teach you about the different charts that we use on that. There's also a Rockbot viewer where you could actually watch the Rockbot take the trades while I'm calling them out. So we have all these things, and when we have the alerts and we have the recognized, then I send out the Zello alerts. And this thing is it's just a matter of just waiting for those alerts. So here's the market opening up, and here we have a nice move down. And this is kind of turning whenever we have the 60-10 here pushing down, and we have this pushing up like this, and we're holding underneath the 20, and we hit the 80 level, and this is down under 20, and this actually is pointing down. It's just about at the 20. That's what we call a bear flag. We had a couple bear flags here that we identified. Now, there was an old trend line back here too. No, there's no trend line here. That's I think maybe the beginning of a trend line. And then we started moving back up. Let's take a look. That was about 1150. And that's on what time? What is that? The 11th? 1150. Okay, hold on. Now the market has kind of came down to this area, and we actually had a bounce. I traded this the whole day. The bounce that came in looks like it was around 11:45. We had the initial bounce. Now I didn't call divergence on this. It was kind of just a trend line bounce. If there was even a trend line, might have been a late trend line. We got that initial bounce. What we do call that is what we call a quad rotation. All four stochastics get down at the oversold, even though this was choppy. It's waited to come back down, and then we had the initial fast little pop, and we got overbought. Now this becomes key to us. Now this happened around 11:45. 11:45. I want to show you the 300 tick chart here at 11:45. You could see totally a different chart that's playing out at this point. It is a quad rotation on the tick chart. You can see all three stochastics coming down. I don't have the 44 on this. And it also was a divergence, and it also actually was a great entry there with the Rockbot. And the tick is a little bit different from the time-based charts, but I watch them both, and that's something that you're going to learn to do is watch them both. Watch the time-based one and the tick chart. Tick chart's going to give you some nice divergences also. But if you have a tick chart giving a signal and you have a divergence on the 1 minute time frame giving a signal, that is really a big signal, and I would be all over that every single time. So I always kind of keep both of those charts running. I have the 1 minute on the show. I have the 300 tick on my charts. And the market here continuing to kind of move back up. And at this point, we kind of rotated back up, and this is how important that 60-10 is. Simple things like paying attention to the 60-10. The 60-10 is so important here. If it's up here above that 80 line and it's strong, that trend is strong, and every pullback we get should be bought. Now, sometimes you might not get a pullback all the way down to the 20. Here it kind of held up and then popped, and eventually it actually kind of popped here. But then we got a rotation down right here, and this was our bull flag. We called this one out because finally we got it down there. You'll see the hash marks on the chart, and that held the 20, and that pushed back up. Then we're just waiting for this to get oversold again. Finally got oversold here, and closed back over the 20, and then just kind of eventually kind of made its way back up. And it was pretty much a strong rally the whole time. Each time we got a pullback, even the 50. Again, this type of flag setup where we have a rotation up. This is above 80, 85, and we get a rotation each time, and it holds above the 20 or 50 period moving average. You want to buy that. All right, you want to buy that. As it pulls back under there, you want to buy, and you want to take these off. You want to take these off for a point, maybe a little bit more. But they're excellent setups. They're excellent. Here we came in 310, and the market spiked down, popped back up, spiked back down, and you could see it, obvious divergence there. And what happened is we got a nice little run, and this was didn't get too big of a run actually. I mean, this is 48.08 to 48.14, about 5 to 6 points. That was, but again, coming into the end of the day, we tend to not like to trade at this time frame because of the volatility, but one thing I was to say is show me a divergence, and I'll show you a stock that, that's what we live and, breathe for, is this divergence, catching this divergence. Now, this is overnight, and when I see something like this, if I'm in front of this, and we see a series of higher lows and the stochastics kind of just chopping around, that's, I'm waiting for something. That's kind of a divergence in itself. And we got that big move up, and this goes overnight, and then we're probably not trading too much overnight. And then you see the overnight market came back down, and we're just going to kind of buzz through this. And then the market here, we had some news. I don't know what the news was, but we had some news. 6 o'clock in the morning on a Friday. Market dropped off. There might have been some attack over in the Houthis, or, something happened pre-market there. And then we had we had some earnings coming out. Oh, it might have been earnings, actually. This could have been earnings. It's probably JP Morgan or one of the banking stocks that got hit. And we just climbed off of that. So now the tools I'm using, again, it just all comes down to being patient. If nothing is happening here, we're not doing anything. And I know that doesn't sound like maybe there's opportunities here. There was a quad rotation here. That's the only thing that I would say that looks good here, quad rotation. And yes, that did work good at 820. Embedded, strong. Started to see a little pullback here. Finally getting that rotation down, and you had a quad rotation right about here. And we got an initial pop, and it pushed back up. Now what's happened here is, we're kind of in this downward trend, and the price is underneath the 50 and under the 20. 50 and under the 20. So now we have to just realize at this point, things are a little bit different. We still could go for our quad rotations, but whenever we're trading, this is the key to making money. Because even though if the setups are great, there's always going to be some that get run over, or the market gets weaker, so we're not getting our full rotation. And there's a way of counteracting that. So if we're in a downward trend and the stochastics are down here, underneath 50, underneath 40, underneath 20, especially underneath 20, and you get that rotation up, this is exactly what we call a bear flag, especially up against the VWAP. You have to take that off. If it's under the 20 and under the 50, you have to take it off. You cannot smoke the hopium here expecting the market to go higher. You have to be a businessman. You have to be a businessman. You have to, you might have a great entry here, and that 11 goes to 15. You get 2-3 points. You got to move. Maybe you get a little late start here. This comes back. It gets a little choppy here. These are things that you have to kind of deal with. But if it does get up to that 80, that's okay. You get a pop here and you take it off there. That's fine. You want to just lock in those profits, and you want to maintain the rule. This is the rule. The rule is if you're trading under the 20-50 period moving average, the 200 period moving average is going down. We're in a downward channel. Many different things you could see here that are pointed out. If you get a trigger and it doesn't really move on you, here's our trigger that we got. This is a little trigger we got here. Look at this. I don't know if at the same time. This is 11 o'clock. Market's selling off here. We get a little trigger. It's kind of chopping around sideways, and then we got to rotate up, and we hit that overbought level. But these are still embedded down here. Same thing. Once it hits that 80 line on the 9-3 stochastic on a 300 tick chart, you want to take that off. Right? It's doing business. You get a nice pullback. You get a nice signal. This is holding up and pointing higher. You probably want to hold it a little bit longer. Either way, you're going to get great setups here off the rock bottom. Now, again, like I said, I would only use the super signal quad signal. Don't use anything else. I'm probably going to take the other scripts down because this works so well. And as long as you have the parameters set and you understand the downward bias in the market when and I'm making a short signal on this. So we'll have both sides here soon. I have it made. I just have to combine them. I have both. I have the setup. It's just not done yet. But we're going to have a super signal to the short side. But as you can see, every long here could go much higher. It's really about and again, what do we have here? Look at where the price is now. Back here. Let's see here. Back here we're under the 200. Actually, let me just go forward here. Because this is the 300 tick chart, and this is just working great. Another thing I do, when I keep this running on the Rockbot channel, I manage it. So this is the Rockbot channel, and it's moving up, and it has its thing. I'll move that trailing stop up, usually underneath the 50 period moving average, and kind of keep that 50 as my trailing stop line. Now, if you can do that on your charts, that's fine. Little pullback, perfect setup. And again, another nice little pop there. Could have went much further too. If you just manage these, the object is to let the bot get you into the trade. Don't let it run automatic because the parameters are going to be set each time based off of the conditions. You don't want this running overnight with it's too choppy. You want that volume to come in like around 3 o'clock. You could run it around, of course, in the morning and during the day when you have an eye on it. And again, to get that set up, I always help you. And again, these are just automatically taking the profit and taking it off with a pretty tight trailing stop. Like I said, you adjust these parameters, you put your stop kind of at the 50 period moving average. You could probably get a little bit more on these setups. Here we got a little pop. It took profits and then the trailing stop went up. But again, when you start to notice, if you're going to be a short-term scalper on a 1 minute time frame, most cases on the 9-3 here, the 9-3 stochastic on the 300 tick, in most cases when that gets overbought, and this is down under 50, you could take that off and not get chopped up. You could just take it off. You don't have to worry about trailing stop. You sell into that strength. You sell as it breaks above the 80. Odds are, like every other time it gets over that 80, you get that fluctuation. Let's realize what's going on here. It's like you're a card counter, and this is a good time. This is a good time to bet, and it's not a good time to bet when you have that overbought level and a downward. You're underneath the 200 period moving average, and the 60-10 is kind of dangling down here in the lower band. So we take these off. They're going to give us something. So you're going to get something out of these. The majority of the time, except if you get a trigger and you get the rotation and it goes up here 1 or 2 ticks, you got to take it off. It's telling you to take it off. The trend, you're underneath the 50. This is down here underneath the 50. You get the bounces, you got to take it off. Every rotation up here. Here's another rotation right there. You got to take it off. Another rotation up here. Got to just take it off. Now you start seeing what's going on. Not every day is going to be the same. All right, definitely not every day is going to be the same. This happened to catch the whole move. Now, the other thing is watching. This is a 300 tick and watching the regular chart. Now, this is at 4 in the morning. We're going to continue on this. Here, look at that. So we have a little pullback here, 4, 5 in the morning. Nice little pullback. What do we see here? A low, a lower low, a higher low on the stochastic. I always look at that 20 line to be our guiding light. Now, this doesn't give us a lot, but it gives us something. It's like finding free money. When you have a divergence, it's almost free money. Your stop is always defined right underneath that, and you catch as much as you can. And again, you have the option to take it off here on the pop above the 20. You know, you're always going to probably most likely at one point be in a profit. You know, that's the great thing on a divergence. There was a nice divergence today at 11:40 to 12 o'clock, and we kind of saw this one. This was the type of day it was today. Look at this chop. It was just very sloppy from 11 o'clock to like 1 o'clock. Just really, really sloppy. And kind of just grinded up. Finally grinded up, but it started with a divergence. That grind up started right here. You know, 11:40, you could see it, the higher low. You could see it on the 932. And then you had a little double bottom divergence right here again, and you had that nice move up. Then you had a bear flag. We're looking at another divergence, and the market closed out. So, you know, Monday is off. Tuesday we're going to have an interesting, market. I think we're going to actually make our way back up to all-time highs, and we're going to capture a divergence. If you have patience and you trade with us, and you want to get those zello alerts and get each one of these divergences and be told when to get in, where to put your stop, and when to get out, that's what's coming next week. All right. If you happen to be able to get one of those accounts, prop accounts at an 80% discount, get the 25K one. Test it with the 25, $1,500. You could do that with 2 contracts with one nice little divergence. And, that's our review today. Just got to keep up with it. Have the discipline, have the tools. All the tools are working really well. Don't forget, I didn't even mention the tradeometer and the other things that you have going for you. Tradeometer's offline right now because of the weekend hours, but I can't show you the backup on that. I was going to just show you how well that works too. And everyone, I know A-Tree, you love that tradeometer. Well, you get a tradeometer set up, and you get a rockbot set up, and you get a call from me. You better be going all in. These are the times. This is a great opportunity to be trading with us. Especially with the prop accounts and being able to almost open up your own account, just being on the right time in the right place. Don't overtrade. The key to success is not overtrading, only taking those divergences. Every divergence I point out here will move. Here's a divergence right here, nice little move up. How far do you want to move? It's like musical chairs. At one point, the music's going to stop, but at one point, you're going to be dancing around those chairs with a profit. Look at that right there, all the way up. I mean, I would love to get a divergence like that and do an after-hours show, because that's 05 to 06 points. You could qualify in an hour and a half overnight on Thursday night. We could have qualified on a 25K just being part of this. That was a good divergence and a nice climb back up. You could have qualified. So that's what our plan is next week. This is to qualify, get people to qualify. A lot of people are qualifying right now, and we're going to look to do more of that. So take advantage of the coupons if you want, or just learn the method with me. Sign up for the zello alerts. Make sure if you want to use that Rockbot script, you have the right package carrying out a day trading radio. And we'll see you Tuesday. Monday the markets will be futures will be open. Everything will be running, but I don't think I'll be taking a little break, just catching up on some rest and stuff. So hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or anything, just email me at ironaction@yahoo.com. ironaction@yahoo.com. Or dtrs@daytradingradio.com. I think that's it. I was going to show you some other stuff, especially a lot of the so the 25K. You need a goal of 1,500. 50K is 3,000. The 100K is 6,000. But remember, if you open up one of these accounts and you qualify, that's fine. You use the account that you qualify with. I'm actually a fan of the 25K now, so I think that 1,500 is very easy to get with a 5-minute divergence, and those 5-minute divergences will not be missed on the Zello. So keep it ready, keep that loaded account ready for a 5-minute setup, and when we get it, you're gonna take it, and the next thing you know, you're gonna be wiring out, whatever you're gonna be wiring out. There's people wiring out stuff out of the bull and knocks. Just a matter of things repeating itself. It's all written down here. All right, and you get this as a member too. I mean, it's just in the forums and stuff. If you want to review our entries and everything else, there's tons and tons. Each setup is defined for you. All right. Only take the super signals. And again, here's the most important. When you're trading the 1-minute chart, half your losses will be prevented if you don't buy when the 9/3 stochastics are over 80. It's very simple. Why would you buy on a short-term time frame on a pop when you're extended, especially on that tick chart? I know I'm going too far into it now. Anyway, that's it. I'll catch you guys in the markets on Tuesday morning. Have a great weekend.